The first thing I noticed when I woke up was the beeping. Steady, mechanical, and somehow both irritating and reassuring at the same time. I couldn't open my eyes, couldn't move my lips to speak, but I could hear everything. And what I heard made me wish I was truly unconscious. "She's not responding to any stimuli below the waist," a clinical voice said somewhere to my left. "The spinal damage is extensive." My name is Caitlin, and 3 days ago, I was driving home from work when my brakes failed. At least, that's what they told me happened. The last thing I remember was the steering wheel jerking violently in my hands as my car careened toward the guardrail. "How long before we can move forward with the power of attorney?" That was Nico's voice, my husband, the man I'd shared a bed with for 6 years. His tone was all wrong, too businesslike, too calm. "Mr. Morrison, your wife is in a medically induced coma. We need to—" "Yes, but there are financial matters that need attention. Time-sensitive matters." I wanted to scream, to reach out and grab him by the throat, but my body remained still, useless, like a puppet with cut strings. "Nico's right." My mother Delaney's voice drifted in. "We need to act quickly. The trust fund deadline is approaching, and she wouldn't want to suffer like this anyway." Trust fund. Of course. Grandmother's inheritance. The one she'd left specifically to me, bypassing my mother entirely. Because Delaney can't be trusted with it, she'd told me before she died. I hadn't understood then. I did now. "Mrs. Summers, please lower your voice," the doctor warned. "Even in a coma, patients can sometimes—" "Oh, please," my mother scoffed. "Look at her. She can't hear anything." Footsteps approached my bed. A hand touched my arm, Nico's. I knew his touch, but now it made my skin crawl. "The lawyers said if we can get power of attorney, we can redirect the trust before it fully vests. We just need to move quickly." "And you're sure about the brake lines?" My father, Rodney's voice, usually so passive, held an edge I'd never heard before. "Rod!" my mother hissed. "Not here!" The brake lines, the crash. It wasn't an accident. The realization hit me like a second impact, stealing what little breath I could draw. My own family, my own husband. "I'll have the papers drawn up," Nico said smoothly. "We can file them tomorrow. The doctors said there's no guarantee she'll wake up anyway, and even if she does, she'll be in no condition to manage her affairs," my mother finished. "It's really for the best." They continued talking, plotting, their voices fading as they moved toward the door. I lay there, trapped in my useless body, rage building like a pressure cooker. Then I felt it, the slight weight of my phone, still in the pocket of my hospital gown. They hadn't thought to remove it. With every ounce of concentration I possessed, I focused on moving my right index finger. Just one finger, just enough. The effort made my head pound, but I felt it twitch, again, until finally, I managed to slide my hand beneath the blanket. One more push, one more impossible movement. My finger found the phone's side button. 3 quick presses, the shortcut I'd set up for voice recording. A faint vibration confirmed it was working. "We should meet with Leon tomorrow," Nico was saying. "Get him to start the transfer process." "What about Pierce?" my mother asked. "Can he be trusted?" "Pierce knows what's at stake. He'll play his part." Their voices grew clearer as they approached my bed again. Perfect for the recording. "I'll come back tonight," Nico said, his footsteps stopping beside me. He leaned down, his lips brushing my forehead in a mockery of affection. "Sleep well, darling." The door clicked shut behind them, leaving me alone with the steady beeping of monitors and the weight of betrayal crushing my chest. But beneath the pain, beneath the fury, a cold clarity emerged. They thought I was helpless. They thought they could steal my inheritance, my autonomy, maybe even my life. But they'd made one crucial mistake. They'd underestimated me. And now I had proof. My finger twitched again, stopping the recording. It wasn't much, but it was a start. They didn't know I could hear them, didn't know I could move at all. And that ignorance would be their downfall. Because while they plotted to take everything from me, they'd given me something powerful in return. A purpose. I would lie here, silent and still, gathering evidence. And when the time was right, I would make them pay for every word, every lie, every betrayal. Let them think I was broken. I would show them exactly how wrong they were. Days blurred together in a haze of beeping monitors and hushed conversations. Every morning, Nico would arrive with fresh flowers and empty words, playing the part of devoted husband perfectly. "The doctors say you're stable now," he'd whisper, holding my limp hand. "We're all praying for you, sweetheart." Then he'd check his phone, thinking I couldn't see the slight smile when certain messages came through. My parents were worse. They didn't even bother with the pretense when they thought they were alone. "The trust manager is being difficult," my mother complained one afternoon. "Leon keeps insisting on waiting." "He's just being cautious," my father replied, "after what happened with grandmother's estate." "Don't start with that again, Rod. She left everything to Caitlin out of spite. Pure spite. As if I hadn't taken care of her for years. I remembered differently. Remembered grandmother's warnings about my mother's spending habits, her manipulation, her endless schemes to access the family money. "Watch her closely," grandmother had told me. "She'll smile while she steals the silver." The door opened, interrupting their conversation. "Mr. and Mrs. Summers?" A nurse's voice. "There's a call for you at the nurse's station. Something about insurance paperwork." After they left, I felt a gentle touch on my arm. "They're gone now," the nurse whispered. "I saw your fingers move yesterday. I know you can hear me. My name is Mia, and I want to help." My heart raced, but I kept still, unsure if this was a trap. "Listen," Mia continued. "I'm going to leave my phone under your pillow. It's an old one, but it works. The voice-to-text is already open. If you can move at all, use it. I'll check it when I change your sheets." She slipped away as footsteps approached. My mother's voice carried down the hall. "Nico says Pierce is getting nervous. We need to move faster." That night, after everyone had gone, I forced my fingers to move. Each tap felt like lifting a mountain, but slowly, painfully, I managed to type. "Need help. Contact Jocelyn McBride, estate lawyer. Tell her Caitlin needs her. Emergency." The next morning, Mia retrieved her phone during rounds. Hours later, she returned. "Jocelyn is coming," she whispered, while checking my IV. "She'll be here tomorrow, disguised as a medical consultant." True to her word, Jocelyn arrived the next day. I heard her heels clicking on the floor, remembered how she used to say you could intimidate anyone with the right pair of shoes. "I need to examine the patient alone," she announced firmly. Standard legal protocol for potential malpractice cases. Once the room was clear, she moved close. "Jesus, Caitlin," she breathed. "What have they done to you?" I twitched my fingers, our old signal from law school when we wanted to talk privately. She caught it immediately. "You're conscious," she said, "and they don't know." "Okay, listen. I've been looking into the trust. Nico's been meeting with Leon secretly for weeks before your accident. And there's more. Large withdrawals from your joint accounts, suspicious transfers. Something big was happening." My fingers twitched again. "Right," she said, pulling out her phone. "I'm recording everything now. Save your strength. Just listen." She detailed what she'd found. Nico's failing business ventures, hidden debt, desperate attempts to access my trust fund, my mother's involvement in changing medical directives, Pierce's suspicious meetings. "But here's what they don't know," Jocelyn said. satisfaction coloring her voice. Your grandmother added a clause. If anyone attempts to seize control of the trust through medical power of attorney, everything goes to charity. They can't touch it unless you're dead. The implication hung heavy in the air. If they couldn't control the trust while I was incapacitated. I've alerted Leon, she continued. He's playing along with them for now, gathering evidence. We'll protect you, Caitlin. Just keep playing dead while we build the case. She squeezed my hand. I have to go. Mia will help us communicate. We'll get these bastards, I promise. After she left, I lay there processing everything. They hadn't just tried to paralyze me. They'd tried to kill me. And they might try again, once they realized their current plan wouldn't work. Mia returned later with fresh sheets. As she leaned close to adjust my pillow, she whispered, Your mother's been asking about medication schedules. I've switched your chart with another patient's. They won't know what you're really receiving. I managed to move my thumb slightly. Thank you. Rest now, she said. Build your strength. You're going to need it. She was right, because now I knew the truth, and I had allies. Let them think they were in control. Let them think I was helpless. Their arrogance would be their undoing. I just had to stay alive long enough to destroy them all. Mia became my lifeline. Every night after her shift started at 11, she'd help me with small exercises. Tiny movements at first, finger flexes, wrist rotations, toe curls. Each motion was agony, but it was progress. My father was like you, she told me one night while massaging my rigid muscles. After his stroke, everyone thought he was gone. His new wife tried to sell his house right out from under him. But he could hear everything, could feel everything. What happened? I managed to whisper, my voice barely audible after weeks of disuse. He waited, gathered evidence, then he got better and took everything back. She smiled grimly. She didn't see it coming. The door creaked, and Mia quickly resumed her professional posture. It was just the night janitor, but we couldn't risk being discovered. During the day, I played my part. Nico would visit, reading emails, or making calls while pretending to keep me company. My parents dropped by less frequently, always with questions for the medical staff about my condition. The physical therapist thinks we should try passive movement exercises, my mother told Nico one afternoon, to prevent muscle atrophy. Is that necessary? Nico asked sharply. The doctors said recovery was unlikely. It's standard procedure, the therapist, David, explained. We'll start tomorrow. That night, Mia helped me prepare. David's one of the good ones, she whispered. I told him you're conscious. He'll help. The next day, David arrived with his equipment. Let's see what we're working with, he said loudly, then lowered his voice once we were alone. Mia told me everything. Follow my lead. He began moving my legs, testing resistance. To anyone watching through the window, it looked like standard therapy, but he was actually assessing my real capabilities. You've been exercising, he murmured approvingly. Good girl. Let's build on that. Over the next few days, David's sessions became my sanctuary. He taught me to control my breathing, to engage muscles systematically, to build strength without showing improvement. Then Jocelyn visited again, this time with news that made my blood run cold. Pierce talked, she said under the guise of checking my charts. He was drunk at a bar last night. Started rambling about Rose, your cousin. Apparently, they've been seeing each other for months. And get this, Rose was with Nico the night before your accident. My fingers clenched involuntarily. There's more, Jocelyn continued. Leon found some interesting transfers, large sums moving between accounts linked to Pierce, Rose, and Nico. All dated just before your crash. A knock at the door made us both freeze. Mia stuck her head in. Sorry to interrupt, but Mrs. Summers is on her way up. Jocelyn gathered her things quickly. "Keep fighting," she whispered. "We're close to something big." That evening, I had my first breakthrough. During therapy, when David was helping me sit up, I managed to hold the position for several seconds on my own. His eyes widened, but he maintained his professional demeanor. "That's enough for today," he said normally, then whispered, "You're recovering faster than expected. We need to be careful." He was right. That night, I overheard Nico on the phone in my room, thinking I was asleep. "The medication should have been enough," he hissed. "No, listen to me, Pierce. We need to move faster. Rose is getting nervous." "No, I don't care about your guilt. We're all in this together." After he left, Mia slipped in with her phone. "Got it all recorded," she said. "Jocelyn's going to love this." But our small victory was short-lived. The next morning, my mother arrived with a new doctor I'd never seen before. "Dr. Roberts specializes in long-term care facilities," she announced brightly. "We think it might be time to discuss moving you somewhere more appropriate." My heart raced. They were trying to isolate me. "The transfer would need to happen soon," the doctor said, "within the week." "Perfect," my mother replied. "We'll make the arrangements." After they left, Mia rushed in. "Did you hear?" I managed a small nod. "Don't worry," she said, checking my IV. "Jocelyn's already working on blocking the transfer. But Caitlin—" She hesitated. "We need to accelerate our timeline. You're not safe here anymore." She was right. The time for waiting was over. I needed to stand up, literally and figuratively, sooner than planned. "Tonight," I whispered. Mia nodded, understanding. "I'll tell David to bring the walking frame. If you're ready to fight, we're ready to help." I was more than ready. I was done being the victim in their story. It was time to become the author of their nightmare. The walking frame felt cold against my palms as David and Mia positioned me at the edge of the bed. 3 a.m. The quietest hour in the hospital, when even the night nurses dozed at their stations. "Remember," David whispered, "small steps. Don't push too hard." My legs trembled as I put weight on them for the first time in weeks. Pain shot through my spine, but I gritted my teeth and pushed through it. "That's it," Mia encouraged, supporting my right side. "Just like we practiced. One step, another." Each movement felt like walking through concrete, but I was moving. Actually, moving. The door opened suddenly, and we all froze. A young nurse I didn't recognize stood there, mouth agape. "It's okay, Amanda," Mia said quickly. "Close the door." Amanda slipped inside, eyes wide. "I thought everyone said she was—" "She is," David cut in firmly. "Officially. And it needs to stay that way, unless you want her family to finish what they started." Understanding dawned on Amanda's face. "The husband. I heard him on the phone earlier talking about moving her to some facility. He sounded wrong." "Exactly," Mia said. "So now you have a choice. Are you with us or not?" Amanda straightened her scrubs. "What do you need?" With another ally, our night sessions became more productive. Amanda would watch the halls, while David pushed me harder in therapy. Within days, I could stand unassisted for several minutes. But our progress wasn't fast enough. Jocelyn arrived one morning with urgent news. "They're meeting with Leon today," she said, pacing my room. "Pierce cracked under pressure and told Rose everything. She's demanding more money to stay quiet." My hand twitched toward Mia's phone on the bedside table. She helped me type, "What about the transfer?" "Your mother's pushing for it. The new facility is suspicious. Very isolated. Limited visiting hours." Jocelyn's face darkened. "We can delay it legally for maybe 3 days, but after that—" A knock interrupted us. Through the window, I saw Pierce himself standing awkwardly in the hallway. Jocelyn quickly assumed her medical consultant pose as he entered. I brought flowers, he said, not meeting anyone's eyes. His hands shook as he placed them on the windowsill. After he left, Mia checked the bouquet. There's a note, she said, unfolding a small paper. Her eyes widened as she read it. What? Jocelyn demanded. I'm sorry, Mia read. Check the brake fluid report, page 3. Jocelyn was already on her phone, typing furiously. Got it. The lab analysis. Holy shit. The brake lines weren't just cut. They were tampered with over time. Gradually. Someone who had regular access to your car. Nico, I whispered. And there's more, she continued scrolling. Traces of the same corrosive substance were found in the garage at Rose's apartment complex. The pieces clicked together. Rose and Nico had planned it together, using Pierce as their unwitting accomplice. Now, Pierce was growing a conscience. That night, during therapy, my legs gave out. I crashed to the floor, tears of frustration burning my eyes. Get up, David said firmly. You can do this. They're going to kill me, I gasped. Once I'm in that facility. Then we don't let them get you there, Mia said, helping me up. Amanda overheard your mother making the transfer arrangements for Friday morning. 2 days, I managed, gripping the walking frame. Not enough time. It has to be, David insisted. Again. We worked through the night. By morning, I could walk the length of the room with just a cane. It wasn't pretty, but it was movement. Nico visited that afternoon, bringing his usual false cheer and a cup of coffee that he sipped while checking his phone. Good news, honey, he said. We found a wonderful facility, very peaceful. You'll be so well cared for there. I wanted to smash that coffee cup into his perfect teeth. Instead, I lay still, gathering intelligence as he made calls. Everything's set, he told someone. Friday morning. Yes, Rose, I know. Just keep Pierce quiet for 2 more days. The insurance papers are ready. Once it's done, we'll have everything we need. After he left, Mia burst in. Your mother's meeting Leon in an hour. Jocelyn's already there, wired for sound. I gripped the bedsheet, mind racing. 2 days. 2 days to master walking, to gather our evidence, to prepare for whatever they had planned. Tonight, I said firmly. We do the full hallway. Mia nodded. I'll tell David. And Caitlin? She squeezed my hand. We won't let them win. Neither would I. Because while they plotted my quiet disposal, they had no idea I was plotting something too, their complete and very public destruction. Thursday morning arrived with a flurry of activity. My mother swept in early, trailing expensive perfume and false concern, accompanied by Dr. Roberts and 2 facility representatives. We'll handle all the arrangements, she assured them. My daughter will receive the best care possible. Through barely open eyes, I watched them examine me like a piece of furniture being appraised for moving. The facility has excellent security, one representative said. Very private, no unauthorized visitors. Perfect, my mother replied. That's exactly what we need. The moment they left, Mia slipped in. Jocelyn's here. Something big happened. Jocelyn entered, practically vibrating with nervous energy. Pierce came clean, she whispered. Completely clean. Signed a full confession this morning. My fingers twitched toward the phone. Mia helped me type. Why? Rose dumped him. Threatened to pin everything on him. He panicked. Jocelyn pulled out her tablet. Listen to this. Pierce's voice, shaky but clear, filled the room. It started 6 months ago. Nico was in trouble. Bad investments, hidden debt. He knew about Caitlin's trust fund, but couldn't access it. Then Rose suggested. She said if Caitlin was incapacitated, they could take control. Make it look like an accident. My hands clenched into fists. They used my garage, Pierce continued. Rose worked at a chemical lab. She knew what to use on the brake lines, something that would look like normal wear and tear. Nico would bring Caitlin's car in for maintenance when she was working late. I thought they were just going to hurt her enough for the power of attorney. I didn't know about the medication. Jocelyn stopped the recording. He's working with the police now. They're building a case, but they need more time. If we can just delay the transfer tomorrow. A commotion in the hallway cut her off. Nico's voice raised in anger. What do you mean he confessed? Where is he? Quick, Mia hissed, helping Jocelyn hide in the bathroom just as Nico burst in. He paced the room, phone pressed to his ear. Listen to me, Rose. Calm down. No, don't leave town. Just stick to the plan. Once she's in the facility. Yes, I'll handle Pierce. After he stormed out, Jocelyn emerged. They're desperate now. They'll try something tonight. Then we move now, I whispered. Mia nodded, already texting David. Within minutes, he arrived with the walking frame. Show me, I demanded. For the next hour, they helped me walk, turn, even manage a few steps without support. Each movement was agony, but determination burned hotter than pain. Your mother's coming back, Amanda warned, poking her head in. With the doctor. Quick, Mia said, helping me back to bed. Jocelyn, the closet. I settled into my practiced stillness just as they entered. We should start the sedation tonight, Dr. Roberts was saying. Make tomorrow's transfer easier. Whatever you think is best, my mother replied smoothly. After they left, Mia checked my chart. They've ordered new medication, strong sedatives. They're not taking chances, Jocelyn said, emerging from hiding. If you're going to make a move, it has to be tonight. The trust meeting, I managed to say. Tomorrow morning. Jocelyn's eyes lit up. Leon's office. They're all gathering to finalize the paperwork before the transfer. 9 a.m. Perfect, I whispered. We spent the next hours preparing. David worked me harder than ever, while Mia and Amanda gathered supplies. Jocelyn coordinated with Leon, setting our trap. At midnight, Nico returned. He stood by my bed for a long time, just watching. I'm sorry it had to be this way, he said finally. But you never would have given me what I needed. Tomorrow, it'll all be over. He leaned down to kiss my forehead. It took everything I had not to recoil. After he left, Mia helped me up. Ready? I gripped the walking frame. One more time. Full circuit. We practiced until dawn. By morning, I could walk well enough to make an entrance, if not a graceful one. It would have to be enough. Jocelyn arrived early with clothes, a black pantsuit I'd worn to court countless times. Your armor, she said with a grim smile. As Mia helped me dress, Amanda kept watch. They're preparing the transfer documents now, she reported. Your mother's already left for the meeting. I looked in the mirror, seeing myself clearly for the first time in weeks. I was thinner, paler, but my eyes burned with purpose. The car's waiting downstairs, Jocelyn said. Leon's keeping them busy until we arrive. I gripped my cane, not just for support now, but as a weapon of sorts. They thought they were gathering to seal my fate. Instead, they were walking into their own destruction. Let's go, I said, taking my first step toward revenge. It's time they saw a ghost. Leon's office building loomed before us, all glass and steel. Jocelyn parked in the underground garage, away from the main entrance. They're all here, she said, checking her phone. Leon's stalling them with paperwork details. My legs trembled as I stepped out of the car. Mia steadied me, adjusting my suit jacket. Remember, short steps. Don't push too hard. The service elevator took us to the 10th floor. Through the glass walls of the conference room, I could see them. Nico standing by the window, my mother examining documents, my father sitting quietly. Rose paced nervously, while Pierce stared at his hands. Leon sat at the head of the table, deliberately taking his time reviewing each page. "Ready," Jocelyn whispered, holding up her phone. "Everything's recording." I nodded, gripping my cane tighter. "The signature pages are quite clear," Leon was saying as we approached. "Once Mrs. Morrison is declared legally incompetent—" "Which she is," my mother interrupted. "The doctors have confirmed—" "Actually," I said, pushing open the door, "they haven't." The silence was absolute. 6 faces turned to me, frozen in various stages of shock. Nico's coffee cup slipped from his hand, shattering on the floor. "Caitlin," my father whispered. "Impossible," my mother breathed. "You're paralyzed? Comatose? Or just conveniently unable to stop you from stealing my inheritance?" I stepped forward, each click of my cane on the hardwood floor like a gunshot. Rose bolted for the door. Jocelyn blocked her path. "Sit down," she ordered. "You'll want to hear this." "How—" Nico started, then caught himself. "Darling, you should be in the hospital. You're not well." "Play it," I told Jocelyn. She pressed play on her phone. Nico's voice filled the room. "The medication should have been enough." "No. Listen to me, Pierce. We need to move faster." Color drained from his face. Pierce put his head in his hands. "Oh, there's more," I said, nodding to Leon. He pressed a button on his desk phone. "Send them in." 2 police detectives entered, followed by a man in a lab coat. "Dr. Phillips," the detective said, "please explain what you found in Mrs. Morrison's toxicology report." The doctor opened his file. Elevated levels of multiple sedatives, far exceeding prescribed doses. Additionally, traces of chemicals consistent with brake line corrosion were found in samples from the victim's garage. "Interesting timing," I said, watching Nico's face. "Right before my accident, when you were doing all that helpful car maintenance." "You can't prove anything," my mother snapped, but her voice shook. "Actually," Leon interjected, "we can. Pierce's confession this morning was quite detailed, and Rose's lab access records make fascinating reading." Rose crumpled in her chair. "Nico promised no one would get hurt. It was just supposed to be enough to get control of the trust." "Shut up!" Nico shouted, lunging toward her. The detectives moved quickly, restraining him. "Nicholas Morrison," the detective began, "you're under arrest for attempted murder, conspiracy to commit fraud." "You bitch," my mother spat at me. "After everything we've done for you." "Everything you've done?" I stepped closer, my voice low. "Like trying to kill me for money? Like planning to drug me into submission in some hidden facility?" "Delaney and Rodney Summers," the second detective said. "You're also under arrest. Rose Mann, Pierce Lucas, you'll need to come with us as well." As they were led away in handcuffs, my mother turned back. "You'll regret this. Family is all you have." "No," I said firmly. "Family is supposed to love you, not try to murder you for money. The only thing I regret is not seeing through you sooner." After they were gone, I finally allowed my legs to give out. Jocelyn helped me into a chair while Mia checked my pulse. "You did it," Leon said, smiling. "Your grandmother would be proud." "The trust?" I asked. "Safe," he confirmed. "And with the evidence we've gathered, they won't see a penny of it. Or anything else, for that matter. Prison tends to limit one's financial options." Mia handed me water. "The hospital's expecting you back, but this time as a regular patient, not a prisoner." I nodded, exhausted but satisfied. "What happens now?" "Now," Jocelyn said, gathering the evidence files. "You focus on healing. Let the lawyers handle the rest." Looking around the conference room where my family had planned to seal my fate, I felt strangely empty. Victory tasted different than I'd imagined. Less sweet, more complex. But as Mia helped me up, I caught my reflection in the window. I was standing, breathing, living, and that was the greatest revenge of all. The courthouse buzzed with tension. 3 months after the arrests, I sat in the front row, my cane resting against my knee, watching my family file in wearing orange jumpsuits. "All rise," the bailiff called. Nico wouldn't look at me as he passed. My mother, on the other hand, stared directly at me, her face a mask of cold fury. My father kept his eyes on the floor. "The defendants will remain standing," Judge Harrison ordered. "Before we proceed with sentencing, would any of you like to address the court?" Pierce spoke first, his voice trembling. "I'm sorry. I knew it was wrong, but I was a coward. I deserve whatever punishment I get." Rose tried next, tears streaming down her face. "I never meant for anyone to get hurt. Nico said it would be simple." "Lying bitch!" Nico suddenly exploded, lunging against his restraints. "You're the one who suggested the brake lines." "Order!" The judge's gavel cracked like thunder. My mother stood straighter. "I have something to say." She turned to face me. "Everything I did was for this family. You were always ungrateful, always thinking you knew better, just like your grandmother." "Mrs. Summers," the judge warned. "You think you've won?" she continued, ignoring him. "You've destroyed this family. Are you happy now?" I gripped my cane and pushed myself to my feet. "No, Mother, I'm not happy. I'm alive, despite your best efforts." The judge cleared his throat. "Having reviewed all evidence and considering the severity of these crimes, this court sentences the defendants as follows." He addressed each one individually. Pierce and Rose received 5 years each for conspiracy. My father got 8 years for his role. My mother and Nico both received 20 years for attempted murder and conspiracy. "You'll pay for this," Nico snarled as they led him away. "You think it's over? I'll—" "Remove the defendant," the judge ordered. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Jocelyn helped shield me from their cameras while Mia brought the car around. "Ms. Morrison," they called. "How does it feel to see your family convicted? Will you write a book about your experience? Any comment on the inheritance that sparked this tragedy?" I paused at the top of the steps. "My only comment is this. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. And real family doesn't try to kill you for money." Back at my apartment, a new one, with better security, David was waiting to start our therapy session. "You're pushing yourself too hard," he observed as I struggled with the walking exercises. "I need to be stronger," I insisted. "You're already stronger than anyone I know," he replied. "But healing takes time." Later that evening, Leon visited with final paperwork. "The trust is completely secure now," he said, spreading documents across my coffee table. "And I've arranged for the sale of your parents' house as requested. The proceeds will go to a foundation for victims of family fraud." "Good," I said, signing where he indicated. "What about Nico's business assets?" "Liquidated. His partner bought everything at auction." "Oh, and this came for you." He handed me an envelope. Inside was a letter from Pierce, written from prison. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I want you to know the whole truth. I've attached records of every conversation, every meeting. Maybe it will help you understand." A knock at the door interrupted my reading. It was Amanda, off her hospital shift. "Brought you something," she said, holding up a bag. "Real food, not that hospital garbage." As we sat eating takeout, my phone buzzed with a text from Jocelyn. "Turn on the news." The headline scrolled across the screen. "Prominent family's murder plot exposed. Daughter's incredible story of survival." "They're calling you an inspiration," Amanda said. I switched off the TV. "I don't feel inspiring. I feel tired." "That's allowed," Mia said, arriving for her evening visit. "You've been through hell." "But you crawled out," David added, joining us with his therapy equipment. "Ready for your evening session?" I nodded, gripping my cane. Each step was still a battle, but a different kind now. Not a fight for survival, but for healing. Your grandmother would be proud, Leon said quietly. Looking around at these people, my new family, chosen rather than born into, I felt something shift inside me. The anger that had fueled my revenge was fading, replaced by something else. Not peace exactly, but purpose. Time to stand up again, David encouraged. So I did, leaving my cane behind. One step at a time, moving forward, because that's what survivors do. We keep walking, even when the path ahead is uncertain. And sometimes, that's the greatest victory of all. The autumn wind rustled through the cemetery as I placed fresh flowers on my grandmother's grave. My steps were steady now, the cane long since retired to a corner of my apartment. You were right about everything, I told her headstone. I should have listened sooner. She knew you'd figure it out eventually, Leon said, standing respectfully behind me. That's why she left you the trust. A twig snapped nearby. I turned to see Rose, thinner and paler than I remembered, recently released from prison. I didn't know anyone would be here, she said, clutching a small bouquet. I can go. Stay, I said. She was your grandmother too. Rose placed her flowers next to mine. I got your letters, the ones you sent to the prison. I never answered, because… How could I? Why did you come today? She wiped her eyes. Because this is where it started, the day of the funeral, when Nico approached me about the trust. I should have said no. But you didn't. No, I didn't. She looked at me directly. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that every word in Pierce's confession was true. And I'm sorry. My phone buzzed, a text from Jocelyn. Meeting with the foundation board in 30. Where are you? I have to go, I told Rose. The foundation keeps me busy. I saw it on the news, she said. Helping other victims of family fraud. It's good. Really good. As I turned to leave, she called after me. Caitlin, Mother's been writing to me from prison, trying to scheme even now. Some people never change. No, I agreed, they don't. At the foundation's offices, Mia was waiting with coffee. She'd left nursing to become our victim advocate, using her experience to help others. Ready for this? She asked as we entered the boardroom. David was there, presenting a new physical therapy program for trauma survivors. Amanda had developed a hospital screening protocol to identify potential victims. Even Pierce, still in prison, contributed by video link, sharing insights into how predators chose their targets. The support network is growing, Jocelyn reported. We've helped 20 families this month alone. Speaking of families, Leon interjected, there's something you should know. Nico's been causing trouble in prison, trying to contact other inmates' families, starting new schemes. Let him try, I said. We're watching now, all of us. That evening, I visited the hospital where it all began. Not as a patient, but as a speaker for the medical staff training program. Trust your instincts, I told them. Like Mia did, like Amanda did. You might be someone's only chance. Afterward, in the parking lot, I heard footsteps behind me. My body tensed, ready for fight or flight. Old habits die hard. But it was just a young nurse, eyes bright with tears. My sister, she said. What you described, it's happening to her right now. Can you help? That's why we're here, I said, taking out my card. Call this number, day or night. At home, I found a package waiting. Inside was my grandmother's diary, sent by a distant cousin who'd found it in storage. The final entry read, Caitlin will face challenges. They'll try to break her. But she has something they don't understand. The strength to stand alone. And when she finds her true family, the ones who choose her, she'll be unstoppable. My phone lit up with messages. Mia sharing success stories from today's support group. David sending videos of his patient's progress. Amanda reporting suspicious patterns she'd noticed at work. Jocelyn planning our next legal advocacy campaign. A new message popped up. From Pierce. Another inmate approached me. Said Nico offered him a deal. I'm reporting it to the warden, but thought you should know. I smiled grimly. Let Nico plot. Let my mother scheme. They didn't understand that they'd given me something invaluable, the knowledge that I could survive anything. And I wasn't alone anymore. The doorbell rang. My new family arrived for our weekly dinner tradition. Mia, David, Amanda, Jocelyn, Leon. Even Rose, tentatively accepting her first invitation. To survival, Mia toasted. To justice, Jocelyn added. To family, I said. The ones we choose. Looking around at these faces, the nurse who believed me, the therapist who helped me stand, the lawyer who fought for me, the friends who became more than blood ever was, I finally felt it. Not just survival, not just justice, peace. Because sometimes the family you're born with shows you exactly what you don't want to be. And the family you build shows you exactly who you were meant to become.